This is the Whole Care Network. Helping you tell your story one podcast at a time. Content presented in the following podcast is for information purposes only. Views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the host and guest and may not represent the views and opinions of the Whole Care Network. Always consult with your physician for any medical advice, and always consult with your attorney for any legal advice. And thank you for listening to the Whole Care Network.
The following podcast sometimes offers unusual solutions to usual problems. These solutions are meant for qualified agencies or individuals to put into action. And I'd be willing to bet that's not you. Listen, folks, we don't take ourselves too seriously. Neither should you. So, let's go have a laugh. Welcome to Unscrewed Up, the podcast where we offer differently twisted solutions to life's little problems. I'm Josh.
I'm Amanda.
Amanda, this is our Halloween special.
Spooky!
Now, you like Halloween, don't you?
I do like Halloween.
Why do you like Halloween?
Well, I mean, I think in a little way it's kind of subversive because I grew up in a church where you're supposed to have fall festivals, not Halloween experiences. So I went to a private school and they wouldn't let us celebrate Halloween at school, but my mom would let me go trick-or-treating at night. So it was good. So I like it. I like costumes. I'm a sucker for a theme. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm a sucker for a theme. I like to decorate. I love how costumes have regressed from when we used to get the costumes out of the box in like the 80s with the plastic mask and like the vinyl outfits. I think you had a Spider-Man one. I definitely was like Apricot from Strawberry Shortcake or something. And I just love it. I love it. Just a decorating experience. Whether it's people or houses.
Yeah, and you love decorating the house in general.
Just in general. I don't really care for decorating the house in the spring. That's not that interesting to me.
Because there aren't that many fun holidays in the spring.
I mean, there's
like
Easter.
Yes, Easter. A gentleman has sprung out of the grave because they killed him.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a cause for celebration, but doesn't have the same punch as like Thanksgiving or Easter. You're in a different place. There is Mardi Gras, and we like to decorate for Mardi Gras.
We do, and I do a little bit of St. Patrick's Day here and there. I even caved to the commercial holiday that is Valentine's Day and put up some hearts on the front door or something, but that's as far as I go.
So let's talk about this commercial holiday that is Valentine's. Aren't they all commercial holidays, really? At this point, they've all been made in.
Correct.
I think the thing that happened was that the other holidays were traditions that were made commercial, right? And so they're commercial now. But Valentine's Day was started as a commercial holiday and has turned into a tradition.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, you're right.
I feel like all holidays have been commercialized. Doesn't matter. If you're into it, if you want to celebrate, then you should be able to do that.
Well, you gave me that lesson last night because we took the 6-year-old trick-or-treating at a restaurant entertainment complex here a couple miles from our house, and all the businesses were going to have trick-or-treating, and yet the day before their trick-or-treating they had put the Christmas decorations up. So there were inflatable spiders and Grim Reapers next to the large
Elf on the Shelf
legit, and ornaments, and then the Christmas tree up, but the light's not turned on yet. It was very, very disorienting to me.
So, but it was a what you call it, a Tim Burton themed thing.
It was the Nightmare Before Christmas.
You didn't catch on to it.
Yes, got it.
So I want the folks at Wilson Technologies to attack a very specific problem that happened to us this morning. Just as a way of reminder, Wilson Technologies is an arm, a branch, all other sorts of appendages of Familiar Wilson's Media. They work on stuff. They brainstorm, they research, they do all the cool things. When I say, hey, gals, guys, and others, please figure this out. So, a dog pooped on our yard this morning.
I'm so annoyed.
We need to have a solution once and for all so that dogs will not wander onto our very tiny postage stamp front lawn and and leave their business and then wander away with their owners happily watching.
Yes.
So there needs to be a solution to this. I was thinking maybe like a scarecrow, but what are dogs really afraid of? Well, our dog is afraid of vacuum cleaners.
It's true. Yes.
So what we need to do is we need to have a selection of outdoor scarecrows that are very much individualized to whatever your dog is afraid of. And this is a business, and I think that this business would go well. So, for example, if I were someone else with my dog, I would hop onto the Wilson's website and say, I need a scarecrow in the shape of either a vacuum cleaner or what else is this silly dog afraid of? The silly dog that we have is afraid of most things.
Yes.
And then, boom, 3D print this joker, plant it, done. Now, we'd have to make it a little decorative, or otherwise it just looks, someone's going to come by and they're going to try to grab it because they think, oh, for free vacuum cleaner. Yes. But the idea still remains the same.
Yeah, it just needs to have a speaker because I think the noise is a big part of the vacuum. So it would be emitting, like an outdoor speaker, it would be emitting the vacuum sound.
The internet does tell us some of the things that dogs are afraid of. Number one thing that they are afraid of is thunder.
Yes, you could have a little weather station right above your house.
Firecrackers.
Okay.
Here's one. This is it. No, I have the answer. Number 3, fear of going to the vet. Can you imagine just a scarecrow with your veterinarian's face on it out in your yard? That is awesome. Fear of car rides. Our dog is not afraid of car rides.
He loves it with his whole heart.
Fear of stairs. Our dog is not that. Fear of people in general. Fear of strangers. Fear of children. And then number 10, fear of objects.
Just objects.
So this dog with the fear of objects needs to go around in just a giant hamster ball, not touching anything. But I'm happy with a 3D printed scarecrow of the veterinarian. Boom, done. Wilson Technologies, take care of it. All right, folks, enough of this nonsense. Let's solve the problems of the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Wilsons will now unscrew it up.
Halloween. Probably countless podcasts are going to give you quizzes on the history of Halloween and all these things. We're not going to do that because I figure if you're a podcast listener, you're probably sick of that by now. Yes, I know that it comes from a tradition in Ireland that is spelled Samhain, but is actually pronounced Samhain.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
I did.
Well, we didn't know that when we did our Halloween quiz last year on the other podcast. But anyway, Halloween. It's got a lot of stuff right with it, a lot of stuff wrong with it. Mm-hmm. So we're here to fix that. We're going to package all of these suggestions up in a nice box. We're going to send it off to a person or organization, and they're going to take these ideas and they're going to make them happen so that Halloween is better.
Okay. I have some ideas.
So we're going to send these ideas to Bill Clinton.
Oh. Does he have opinions on Halloween?
I don't need him to have opinions. I just need him to do what I tell him to do.
Okay.
And whatever he's doing right now, he probably shouldn't be doing that. He should probably just be concentrating on Halloween.
All right,
so,
fix it, Bill.
Fix it, Bill Clinton. All right. I have 3 things. How many things do you have?
3 things.
All right. Why don't you go first?
Okay. So Halloween is the one time of the year that it seems like it's okay for everybody to get candy, eat candy, have a whole bunch of candy. But the deal is you wind up with a whole bunch of candy. And then there's the whole thing of, dentist office will do the buyback thing. So you can go and give we got an email from a 6-year-old school saying that they're taking the candy buyback and the local orthodontist is taking it and giving the school X amount of dollars per pound of candy. So it's like a fundraising thing for the school. And then they also ship it overseas to the troops. Which, by the way, melted by the time it gets
Well, but
there.
I'm going to say this could also be a gun buyback program. You realize that everything you just said, you could substitute the word gun.
Yes.
Buy it back, send it to the troops. Go ahead. Just observation.
It just seems like a lot. And there are people that do this thing called the switch witch. Have you heard of the switch witch?
No, what's that?
Well, so parents tell it's kind of like the Elf on the Shelf, but the Halloween version. And so you get to pick out like 5 pieces of your candy, you put the rest of your candy outside, and the switch witch comes in the middle of the night, takes the candy and leaves, a toy or something.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of that.
Okay. But this is parents trying to manage Halloween, right? Halloween it's the one time for indulgence. But the thing is, we've been to 3 Halloween things and it's not even Halloween night yet. And so the child has a lot of candy. We have eaten some of the candy. In fact, I didn't realize you and I had eaten all of the Reese's until he went looking for his Reese's and was like, where are my Reese's? He knew he had a whole bunch of Reese's and they were gone.
I didn't eat any Reese's. I ate all the Kit Kats and Twix.
Okay, well then his sister and I ate all the Reese's. But anyway, I'm just saying if you're going to come away with a large haul of things, we might as well make it worth it to last for the year. Because Halloween candy, after a while, it's in the pantry, you forget about it, you find it, it's kind of gotten sticky and stale. I propose that, I'm not saying we get rid of candy, but in addition to, we trick or treat for things we need. Like the little kids can trick or treat for school supplies. And maybe we move trick or treat up before school starts. And then that way we don't have to go fight the people in Walmart or Target to get your glue sticks and your crayons and your markers and everything, that you can just trick or treat for them. Or, things like, I don't know, for those kids who are still trick or treating as teenagers, deodorant. Teenage boys need deodorant. They don't like to buy it for themselves. They don't like to apply it for themselves. But if you give it to them and it's like a treat, then maybe they will use it. So I am proposing that we trick or treat for things that we really need. Maybe grown-ups go around trick or treating for, I don't know, boxed wine. I don't know what you're going to trick or treat for, but you trick or treat for things that you actually need and can use throughout the year. My mom started this tradition with Christmas where our stockings were things that we needed. So it was, and I still do it with you guys. And it's really kind of, I'm sure, not fun, but it's toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, soap. It's a way of, giving you the staples to last for the next couple months. I suggest that we do this for Halloween.
That's good, and that's very close to one of my solutions, so I'll just give my solution now. And mine was trick-or-treating for adults. You're talking about how the adults dig into the candy, and it's true. But it's fun to dress up. Lots of adults like to dress up in costumes. There's very few places for that. You've got D&D conventions to cosplay and like Halloween parties. And the adults love to come up with the clever plays on words, Halloween costumes like you were. What were you?
I was a Freudian slip.
A Freudian slip?
Yeah.
So you were wearing a slip with a bunch
all these like Freud terms on the slip.
Yes, very, very cute. I believe that was the year that I was a vampire. Was I? I was a vampire monk.
You were a vampire friar. We made it rhyme.
Yes, we made it rhyme, even though the only reason I was that is because I took parts of 2 costumes and put them together. I say the adults should have a time where they can go trick or treat.
Yes.
And piggybacking on your idea, we were thinking in parallel directions. I think that stores are missing an opportunity because imagine like a strip mall or one of these places that has a bunch of stores together having trick or treating for adults where you go to CVS and you get toilet paper. You go to Target and it's like socks and underwear. You go to Old Navy and it's like cargo shorts and V-neck t-shirts. You go to Best Buy and it's a phone charger because God knows that's one thing we need. We replace phone chargers every 3 months. I feel like.
I know.
And so we need those. Halloween trick-or-treating for adults. They can dress up and not feel silly. It works for the stores because the stores will get customers in. Like you're going trick-or-treat. You go to Best Buy and there you get your phone charger. You're like, oh, wait, I also need to get a mouse pad. And you go in there and you get your... I think it's win, 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 win all the way around. Trick-or-treating for adults at stores.
I like it. I support it.
All right. What's your...
All right. My next one is about how we approach the actual act of trick-or-treating on Halloween night with children. I was reading an article recently about how parents have sort of taken over and are curating all of children's lives. And you and I had a conversation. No longer is it you just go out in the morning on a Saturday and you come home when it gets dusk and maybe you show up around lunch for some food, but you're just out all the time. And the article was talking about how children, because the world is different, so it doesn't mean that we should just let them go out, but that children are not gaining the opportunities to navigate socially by themselves. They're not creating this inner locus of control. Everything is external. And even when parents are curating Halloween and what the costumes are going to be and what the parties are going to be. And whereas when we were younger, it was just you go out, you trick or treat, you come back, and then you eat your candy.
Right.
There's no switch witch. There's no like selling it back to the orthodontist. It's just, this is your candy. If you get sick on it, then, it's like kids have to kind of figure out how to ration their own stuff, right? We're not letting them develop any sort of internal motivation and control. I suggest that we go back to that. However, it is dangerous to just let the children go out into the world at night, right? It's much more dangerous now. But if we institute something similar to what they do in the Purge movies...
No, wait. This is more safe? What's happening?
Because in the Purge movies, everybody goes in their house and locks down, and then like all laws are, given up for the night, right? And they're just out there doing all the mayhem. But if all of the adults go in, everybody, and it's just streets full of children out there getting the candy. They go out, they have to navigate socially. They have to figure out do I grab all of the candy from this bucket? Because adults are not going to be out there giving the candy. It's just going to be in buckets. And you have to, Tommy took 75 pieces and now there's none left. Now everybody's got to give Tommy a lesson on fairness. And they're out there, they're learning how to navigate socially. The adults don't have to be out there with it. And if you want to, you can employ like school resource officers. They're used to being around a bunch of kids. They can be out there to protect them in the streets, but they can't intervene with the social situations that are happening.
I don't know whether you've just described the Purge or the Lord of the Flies or just a prison yard. What has happened?
We need children to be able to navigate for themselves. You've seen these children in Japan that get on the bus at 3 and go to the store. American children don't know how to do that.
Okay.
I was watching a mother trick-or-treating with her
This
child.
is like a reality show that no one would want their child to sign up for.
I was watching a mother trick-or-treating with her child in which the child's costume was one of those big inflatable air things.
Yes.
And the child couldn't reach their arms out. So the mother was actually doing the trick-or-treating and the child was just following along behind. The child is learning nothing.
Okay. All right. Moving on. We'll put that. Thank you for your feedback. We'll take that in advisement. Jeez. All right. The next one. We have a thing here in town that I don't know if it happens all over the place, but gone are the days where people just trick-or-treat in their own neighborhoods. Now they pick specific neighborhoods, and the neighborhoods will go overboard with the decorating, and like the neighborhoods put in an effort, and probably a lot of the people who live there are happy for it. But what happens is that you have a mass of humanity descending on these very few neighborhoods, number one. It just doesn't. It actually feels like this Lord of the Flies situation. And with the parents are terrified.
Well, and
they're walking around. It's like Disney World with no one watching. It is like the worst.
Have you noticed that the neighborhood that's next to us that does this, that like the homeowners association pays for off-duty police officers to direct traffic?
Yes. So actually, what we have here is we have something very similar to your.
Except the adults are involved in it.
Yeah, right. And then that sometimes is worse.
It is.
Okay. And I can't imagine that every single person who lives in those neighborhoods are overjoyed by this.
Yes.
People tromping through their yards, even if, and I'm assuming that you don't have some troublemakers who are wanting to mess up houses or just do all the things. I don't think it's right. I don't think it should be allowed. I think it's dangerous. I don't think it's right. I believe that just as every single part of town has a polling place that they go to vote,
yes,
you should only be allowed to trick or treat in your section. Now, there could be neighborhoods within that section. It could be a thing where everyone in that part of town decides, okay, this will be our trick or treating place, or people just stay in their own neighborhoods. But do not go into another neighborhood and cause trouble and cause traffic backups, and there's a safety issue. Okay, so we're going to, in addition to your voter registration card, you need to have now a trick or treat registration card.
Okay.
And you stick to your zone, and you will be fine. No gerrymandering. This is not the place for that. Keep your fingers out of my neighborhood trick-or-treat zones, and everyone will be happy. No one will get hurt.
Okay. Well, I can see that. And that was my last problem, was addressing how there are some neighborhoods that get overrun with people. In our neighborhood, we get maybe like 3 people. We don't get people here. So we wind up going to these other neighborhoods, but they're right next to us. So they would be within our zone.
They'd be in our zone.
They'd be in our zone. But there are people that bring children in from with buses, like vans from other towns.
Yes, from other towns, like from other states sometimes. No, we're getting the things.
And the thing that we went to last night was overrun with people.
It was front to back people, and I was very stressed out.
I liked it because I enjoy looking at all the cute costumes, but I had a thought when we were sitting there at dinner and we were talking about how stressful it was. It would be great to have like a balcony to sit out on and people watch and look. It's like New Orleans, but not with nakedness, right? So I was thinking about this, how we want to go do fun things. We want to trick or treat. We want to go to the neighborhoods with the nice houses and the nice decorations and getting the good candy. But it is a problem when it's just packed. And it's not fair to the people who are having to buy hundreds and hundreds worth of dollars of candy. So you know how in parking garages, they now have, it'll show you the number of spaces allotted on the floor.
Yes.
So it'll say like floor full, floor
Yes.
1 full,
Yes.
floor 2 like 2 spots, like whatever. I suggest that neighborhoods have these or events have these, and when you reach whatever the acceptable limit of people, where it's not just mass pandemonium, then that neighborhood's full or that event is full, and you move on to the next one. So I'm not saying you have to stay within your map, because maybe within your map is really just crummy, like not good places to trick or treat, but just we're going to put capacity on things, and we're going to have signs out front that says this one's full. And then when a certain amount of people leave, then maybe 2 or 3 spots open up, just like in the parking garage, the numbers change. And then you know, that way we can keep track of, we don't wind up at Celebration Point with 572,000 people trying to get their coupons from Texas Roadhouse or whatever was happening last night.
But yes, that was very weird. But then would that create just long queues of cars waiting for neighborhood spaces to open up? Wouldn't that foul up traffic even more?
Probably.
Or would it be like, we've reached our maximum capacity for the evening, now this neighborhood is now just shut for the rest of the night?
Then that would keep it from being just people sitting there waiting.
Right.
We could also employ technology and have an app. Just kind of like your Waze app where you're checking traffic, but you can also check, or when we had Universal passes, we would have the Universal app and it would tell me the wait time on all of the different rides. So you could have wait times for approximately when these neighborhoods would open back up.
Okay, there's something to this idea. Like I said, I don't want people lined up
Okay.
waiting for spaces to open up. I don't want that. But I love the max capacity idea. That one's definitely getting through. All right, my last one, the dilemma of the people in the houses. Even like when you're having your best time being a person giving away candy, it's still a little stressful. You've got these masked, unidentified people coming up to your house and demanding candy, or else, I mean,
they're going to show you their underwear or pull down yours.
Well, yeah, and the tradition is, trick or treat. You give me a treat or I'm going to play a trick on you. So at best, it's blackmail. At worst, it's like unarmed robbery, right? And so we need to change the definition of this whole trick or treat thing. It should be that the people come up to the house, and the owners of the house who are giving away the free stuff, instead of being coerced, it's like, okay, you trick or treat, right? You do something to earn this treat here. And I'm not being out of control or saying, but they have to do like a little dance, or they have to have a talent. It's kind of like a house door-to-door talent competition or whatever. And if you don't get the candy.
That is going to cause people to back way up, though. Like, we're all going to be waiting for little Johnny to finish his head, shoulders, knees, and toes, or whatever he's doing.
It's fine, though. But what I need to do is we need to change this whole idea of trick or treat to entitled people going up to houses and demanding things, to children weighing the whole idea of risk versus reward.
Okay.
Like, am I really going to put myself out there to sing this song? And what if it's not good? They don't give me the candy anyway. Life lessons.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Life lessons.
Just don't trick or treat at Simon Cowell's house.
No,
Okay.
well, yeah, no, don't. Sometimes Simon likes kids. So, but that's my idea. Just changing trick or treat so that the people with the candy aren't miserable and the kids learn an important life lesson. Okay? So, this is what we have. We have 6 things now that we're going to send along. We have that we need to get rid of one, right? So, we have trick or treat for things that we need, like the kids need school supplies and deodorant. We have adult trick or treat, and so we get the cargo pants from Old Navy and maybe from Walmart. Walmart's the one that people don't visit because you'll get an expired can of tuna. Whatever. We have the Lord of the Flies trick or treat situation that you have going on. These are terrible. We have registration zones for trick-or-treating. We have max capacity signs and apps for trick-or-treating. And we have learning your life lessons by trick-or-treating.
Well, we only need to get rid of one, right?
Well, okay, but just tell me which ones you want. We'll do it that way.
I mean, I really want trick-or-treating for things that are useful.
For adult trick-or-treating or children trick-or-treating?
Both. I think we could put both of those
pick
through.
one.
Okay, I'm going to pick mine, clearly. Children's.
All right. Okay, so children's. I love the idea of the app that you came up with, or the max capacity is full sign. I like that. We'll do that.
All right, now I want stores to give me things.
Now you want stores to give you things.
I don't want to go to Walmart, though.
Excellent. I think that I will take the trick-or-treat registration zones.
Mm-hmm. Is that 4 or is that 5?
That is 1, 2, that's 4.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm seeing that probably my idea for the purge is not a realistic one. So I will give you trick-or-treat life lessons, but I think as an educator, can we add in some, like, maybe we got to make them do math problems?
Absolutely. What a great idea. What if it's like tiny little pop quizzes up and down the street?
That's right.
And every house is a different topic.
And you can vary what you're asking based on the age of the child. You ask them what grade they're in.
You've made it even better. It's school, basically more school, more homework.
Yeah, but if you're going to earn the candy, you got to do the work.
I just want them to wash my car, really.
Oh, I was thinking like planting things in the flower bed too. Like, you must plant 2 plants before you can get some candy.
So the Wilsons have made Halloween so delightful, and not even necessarily for what we picked, but for the one that we didn't pick.
That's right. No purge of all the children. Imagine watching it from the window, though.
No. Terrible. All right, Amanda, Halloween is now
unscrewed.
Do you have a problem that you want us to solve? Something that you would like to unscrew up, whether big or small? Then drop us a line, send us an email at unscrewitup@gmail.com. Our friend Danny Buckets wants us to solve rude people.
I just don't know that I can in a way that is socially acceptable.
Well, I mean, you've already suggested that we have Halloween the Purge. I can't imagine.
Rude people to purge? Just put them out there and let them go at it.
Well, it's interesting because there is an episode of Black Mirror, which I don't watch, but I've seen clips of it, where people's life and what they're allowed to do is determined by how other people rate them through their lives on an app. Very interesting. Yeah. So I don't think we need to unscrew that up. I think that the solution is there. We just have ratings.
Basically, their Yelp review.
Yes, individual. That's exactly. You should go see this episode. All right, so unscrewitup@gmail.com, and we will unscrew it up for you. All right, Amanda, I think that we've unscrewed up everything that we have unscrewed up. If we keep going, who knows what will happen to the world? I can't have you in charge of the world. I'm so glad I'm here to save the world from you. So we will be back next week. You are listening to this right before you experience Halloween for yourself. And so drop us a line, unscrewitup@gmail.com, if you have suggestions how you would fix Halloween, and we will institute it for next year. We are part of the Whole Care Network, which is a network of people and resources for caregivers. So go to thewholecarenetwork.com and look at the resources and listen to the podcasts. All right, so folks, until next week, whatever you do,
don't screw it up.
Ow!